Hello boys and girls, my name is White Rhino PSO, and today I am starting another run of The Consuming Shadow. Before I begin though, I'm going to switch it back to full screen mode and double check to make sure everything's recording. Alright, looks like we are good to go. April 1st, 2014. Terrifying visions of the ancients swim through my mind, combined with visions of Stonehenge. I estimate 3 days before the barrier breaks down and one of them invades. I know what I must do. Explore places touched by the ancients, assembling clues to piece together the banishment ritual and the identity of the invading god. But I'm not sure how I know this. I have the strangest feeling that it might be because I've already done it. Hey! So, the last time I played this, I did unlock the Ministry Man by getting ending B of the game, which means I successfully banished the god, but I had sanity so low that it put me in an asylum. The only problem is, normally when you click New Game, I believe the game is supposed to ask you which character you want to play as, and for whatever reason, it's still defaulting directly to the Scholar. The good news about that is that I get to show off the Birth Star system. Now, as you gain experience by playing the game, you unlock birth stars. What that means is anytime you start a new game with that character, since the stars are specific per character, you are able to place them in a skyline, which I believe is randomly chosen each time you play. And each constellation offers different effects, like the Thief lets you pick locks better, which I believe I'm going to put one there. You can, fiddle with it to put them between different areas to get different effects. Research, I believe, is also not working correctly for this game, or at least for my game. It probably works for others fine. I'm going to try and split the difference between... can I squeeze out another sanity? Alright. So now I've got extra sanity and extra speed. And I do like having extra health. Alright. So I'm starting with bonus health, bonus sanity, faster car, and more chance to pick a lock straight off the bat. Also random spell chance of 1%, but I don't know if that's really going to affect anything. 60 hours left. I have received a text from the Ministry of Occultism. Look for intel in cursed towns. Restock at safe towns. Hersburrow would probably be your best place to start. Which is actually right off the beginning. I think I'm going to swing by Lawholm, though, just to see what they've got. This is actually the second time I've tried to record this. The first time, I made it through 2/3 of the game when a misclick accidentally kicked me straight back to the main menu, which honestly kind of pisses me off. But we have made it to Lawholm. I feel quite buoyed by the clean air here, and the people are friendly enough. It can only be a matter of time before they catch the Shadow's attention. I lost another precious hour, but I have finally found a black market dealer willing to take my money. I do have 6 normal bullets. I don't think I have any armor piercing, but I do like the idea of having the toxic damage. So I'll spend every dollar I've got on that gas mask. And I got another text while I was out. I have some intel that urgently needs to get to Billsrow within 7 hours. If you have the time to sort this out, you won't go unrewarded. That's pretty far away. But Hersburrow, I know, is kind of messed up, so let's go see what I can get there. Another text. When my secretary came in this morning, I pictured her being violated by 1,000 thorny limbs. I can't take much more of this waiting. Well, thank you for telling me so I can lose a little bit of sanity when I haven't even friggin' begun the game. Hersburrow. The taint upon this town brings to mind the work of a medieval plague. There are people wandering the streets bent almost double, as if an invisible weight clings to their backs. I saw a tarpaulin in the street covering a huge mass from which something that may once have been a limb extrudes. This is not merely the result of a spreading infection. I feel I am drawing close to a source, not strong enough for a full rift, but perhaps an artifact. I believe I have located the source of this otherworldly radiation, an administrative building connected to a local university. Perhaps somebody had the intention to study the artifact scientifically. It must be recovered. I am willing to take the risk, and I need to do it before I start paying too much attention to the screams and banging being made at the back of my mind by my sense of self-preservation. So our first dungeon is a office building. I did leave the tutorials on, even though I pretty much know how to play still. No monsters in the first hallway. I do like to head up or down to begin. Alright, I have covered a small handful of standard 9mm rounds. The carving dates back to at least 6000 BC and depicts Cthoth defeating and casting out a figure labeled the God of Fear. It appears to have been intended as an insult to a rival faith. So, Cthoth is a person, and the God of Fear is also a person. So I get a 30% chance. Hey, and it worked out. That is a weird place to put a filing cabinet. In the language of the ancients, the name of Cthoth is often identified with a symbol resembling an incomplete number 4 with a detached line. So Cthoth is the ewe man, which I suppose you could say that about that number. The God of Fear doesn't appear to be able to physically survive in our universe. The threat it poses to us is very real, but thankfully indirect. So the God of Fear is not invading. That much. That means that, possible invader. Yeah, so Cthoth may be the invader, or Unknown God number 3 might be the invader, but not invading doesn't necessarily mean that God 2 is against Cthoth. Well, yeah. There's nothing of importance left in this place. The longer I stay, the more time I lose. I'm gonna stick around for a second. Jesus. Someone left their keyring here, and hopefully I can open all the doors now. I don't know what that guy's all about. Worshippers consider it a grave insult to draw a Yahtzee symbol in white, as this is the color associated with one of their oldest and bitterest rivals among the ancients. So Yahtzee hates the god associated with the color white. That doesn't necessarily... I don't think that necessarily gives me any information that I need. But, I will keep it in mind. That already open. There's a dented old cash box here containing 3 pounds. Ooh. What is up with him? Alright. Up, quick. I do want to explore this room before I leave, just in case. Quick! In the language of the ancients, the name of Yahtzee is often identified with a symbol resembling a stick man with their head and one arm missing. So Yahtzee is Kuz, but I don't know. I'm gonna put Yahtzee down here. And... did I say Kuz? Yeah, I think I said Kuz. And Yahtzee hates white. Yes, yes, leaving a room with enemies in it takes a sanity hit. I like the, there's a few different enemies that that can come after you when you're being chased out of a location. I like the phantom one the most because you can just hit him and he disappears. The town is lost to the shadow, and nothing I could have done can change that. But perhaps, with what I have recovered here, this will finally be the last. Alright, so I did take some damage there. Quite a bit, actually. Brings me down to 30 supplies. I might be able to zigzag through Stoneport to get to Bill's Row. I'll go to Finzal, actually. That'll determine whether I can zigzag a little or whether I should go straight to the place. Something strikes my front bumper, and I screech to a halt. I am on a forested path and can't see anything in the road. I get out of the car, but there is still nothing around, and not even a dent in the bumper. I am then rooted to the spot by a gruff voice, coming from somewhere in the darkness ahead of me. Get away from the car, it growls. Move away from it and step forward. Keeping my hands clearly visible, I walk slowly towards the source of the mysterious voice. Sweat runs down my face. I am expecting some terrible ambush at any moment. I must have made for a pathetic sight as the voice laughs mockingly. Sorry, it says. Thought you were somebody else. With this enigmatic statement, the voice says nothing more. That was nice. I've made it to Finzal. I do not have enough money to really do anything. I hope I can make it to Bill's Row in time. I think I might be able to. We know where your children sleep. They will be eaten first, greased and spit roasted alive as they howl for their father. Oh, that's pleasant. Damn it, I was almost there. Bill's Row has fallen to the shadow. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you? I was 1 mile out of town. I go to the address to which I was supposed to deliver the message, but there doesn't seem to be a building there. There aren't even any foundations for one. There's just a yawning black chasm that seems to go down forever. I leave the message at the edge, but it's safe to assume I won't be getting any payment. Bill's Row. The people of this town have been welcoming, perhaps too much so. They smile but rarely blink and invite me to some private meeting place within minutes of conversation. When pressed, the apparently unaffected people mutter disquieting stories of friends and loved ones returning from meetings with changed personalities. The smiling ones all wear gloves and baggy clothing buttoned to the necks, as if their flesh must remain hidden. Everything points to some kind of evil consciousness, a dark, controlling presence buried somewhere out of sight, puppeting and perverting. Thankfully, all the sanity effects have begun, and it's wanting me to try and kill myself. The first people to exhibit strange behavior I have discovered were dock workers. The first known case is estimated to be a man who worked at one of the warehouses on the industrial riverfront. It did not take long to establish that something is wrong there. Workers go in that do not come out, and the nearby river is thick with the well-gnawed corpses of fish. Something is living there that should not be. Alright, so I've made it to a warehouse this time. It is very quiet. Oop, there's some creepy-ass music. Nothing in the entrance hallway. A very long entrance hallway, and a way up and down. This time I'm going up. Oop. I have recovered a small handful of 2 standard 9mm rounds. Continuing on up. Do I risk another lockpick? I'm gonna wait on the off chance that I get the keys. Ooh. The Chz rune has been inscribed on the wall here in yellow. It could be either a marking of territory or a gesture of thanks or recognition to another god. So, let me cast that. As I invoked the rune, I felt a wave of answering energy from the wall. I felt an inexplicable ease upon my mind. So I gained sanity, but I'm still at 45, which means that something must have taken sanity recently. That's great. Ah, hell with it. Hey, the odds are in my favor. I guess that guy's hits take a little sanity because I'm down to 44 now. I've recovered a small handful of 3 bullets. Ooh. Mostly garbage, but there's a piece of sturdy wire I could probably twist into a lockpick. Alright. I can't go right here, but I can keep going down. Nothing off to that side. Ooh. I found 3 unfired hollow point bullets that appear to have been hastily concealed here. So I now have the extra damage bullets, which might come in useful in the next rooms. An ancient clip with 3 bullets. So I got the bullets back that I used. Kizrune in yellow could be a marking. I'm going to do it again in the hopes I get, yes, more sanity back. Only a little bit, but every little bit helps. A body lies at my feet. They died with their limbs drawn up and their hands covering their face, desperately trying to block out the nightmare around them. Okay. Another 2 bullets. I should probably be shooting more if they're giving me this many bullets. Important part of the banishment mantra is to incant the rune of the creature you intend to banish as the second syllable of the mantra. Note, be very certain that you have the right rune. Unless there's any more loot to be found, I can call this place complete. Please... Well, I suppose I don't need to know that anyway. But now I know that the god, whatever god I'm trying to banish, is the second rune of the banishment ritual. Shot. There's a small bottle of medicinal alcohol, which I immediately put to 2 uses. It never really dawned on me, but I guess I always assumed that 2 uses means he used it to heal himself twice. More than likely, I have a feeling it means he used it to heal himself and then took a drink. Another 3 bullets. I should probably be shooting more if they're giving me this many bullets. Then again, I believe I have heard that warehouses give you more items. Whoa! Anxiety seems to be getting the better of me. I feel hot and nauseous, and my hands won't stop shaking. Hopefully it will pass. Back to the car. The townsfolk are not immediately better off with the extermination of the creature behind their enslavement. There have been several murders and suicides already as the memories of their actions return. The best thing I can do for them now is leave them to heal. The ministry says, I've got reports of a sleeper cell in Birchester. Needs cleanup sooner rather than later. You don't have to help out, but these things escalate quickly. I think I can safely make it to Dinton first, and then to the other place. And hopefully by the time I get there, the anxiety is gone. Alright, I made it to Dinton, but because it is not a dangerous place with a dungeon, at least I don't think it is. I'll double check. I feel quite buoyed, yes. So it would be supplies only, which I've got $3, so that doesn't really help me. Next up then is to Birchester, where the enemies have been spotted. I am given cause to slow by some kind of fight in the road. It appears to be between a small group of loutish young men and another prone individual whom they are kicking and spitting on. One of the youths instructs me not to interfere, stating that they have caught one of them. I can't get a clear look at the victim through the many attacking legs. Make them stop. Once I have distracted them from their entertainment and the adrenaline wears off, the louts lose interest fast. They drift away, shouting idle, meaningless threats as they go. The victim, bloodied but unconscious, explains that a misunderstanding arose because he had made a delivery to a place believed by the locals to be suspicious. It isn't far by foot and may be worth investigating. I will. Satisfied that the injured man can get by on his own from here, I set off to follow his directions to the infected place. I hope that I am prepared. Find and destroy a nest. I was honestly not expecting that. So, as his time is about up, it is time for me to cut the video here. So as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.